Okay, folks, and I don't usually like using this website, The Verge, because a lot of the people that work there are the kinds of people that just like stirring up crap and causing all kinds of problems for everybody across everywhere. They would be the kind of people that would cheer on this kind of trolly person who ran around YouTube causing trouble for people. Well, we have some updated news on uh, this uh, Christopher Brady, who went around YouTube misrepresenting himself and causing all kinds of problems for people, basically being a copyright troll and abusing YouTube's system. Well, they reached a settlement and he has to pay $25,000 and he's basically banned from doing it anymore. Just thought I'd throw this out there. It's kind of a win, and it will show you what is going to happen if you're going to do this kind of thing. Okay, it's just sort of a warning to other people, right? And it's a good thing that YouTube takes this kind of stand because it shows the rest of us that there's a little bit of hope for us little guys that want to just have some fun and do things and we're not trying to pirate your shit. We're not trying to, rip people off. In fact, if I do a game and accidentally there's a bit of your music in it, you know, maybe they should do is have a system where you can contact a person. Okay, that would be the first thing I would do. And then if the person's a jerk and doesn't get back to you, then you go through and do all this stuff to them, right? Give them 24 hours to respond because if you're not paying attention to what you upload and everything else, you know, that's another story. I mean, you could even automate a process like that. That would be a more uh, logistical, proper way of doing stuff. But hey, we get what we get. Now I'm in Canada, and here's a problem that I have with the copyright system. It looks like the new free trade deal won't go through. Um, the Democrats are not going to pass his NAFTA rules while he's under an impeachment process and whatnot. And the original Star Trek was in 1966, and if you add 50 years onto that from the time of it when it was created, that's 2016. So for 3 years now, it's been technically in the public domain, but it's only in the last little while that they would have added an extra bunch of years to push that out to 2047. And they were even going to change the rules for television. There is actually a lot of television and stuff and neat things we can actually now get our hands on and create things with, but here's the kicker. I can't put it on YouTube, which is an American service. So I may uh, start talking to some other people in Canada, and we may create um, a Canadian version of something for YouTube people to create and play around with stuff that's in the public domain. Okay? And you know what? Uh, Go ahead and try and sue something like that. That's where you pull lots of donations and say, look, here's the law, here's the rules, you're and get lost, right? It's usually you would think that's simple, but these people have created laws that drag things out on you, okay? And it's one of the fears why when I was talking to guys like Nerdrotic and Overlord DVD, I say, I could do these things, but I'm a little guy and I don't have a big fund for lawyers. If CBS just wanted to whack me into nothing, or they could probably do it, right? Well, there's another little loophole. Okay, they can't even sue me for copyright infringement if I'm not making money from it. Okay, I'm on disability in Canada. Okay, so putting a guy like me in charge of things where there's no profit, okay, and that's the key word, no profit. That means I could spend money on things and pay other people, you know, as long as I'm not profiting, they can't sue me for what I get done. Okay? That's another neat little thing here. So, in other words, the when they screwed with that guy in the U.S. Over the fan-based Star Trek. If I did the same thing he did up here in Canada, I would be immune from prosecution under any type of laws. Just sort of so you know that I school myself in these things, okay? I take jurisdictional matters quite seriously, and this is why I just don't do Star Trek stuff on the thing here. I mean, I played the online game. I put a couple $100 into buying the little ships there and stuff because it was fun and everything else. And then they started down this road of just sinking it right into the ground. Okay. I mean, they've taken the fun out of every. It's what they're doing is they're trying to take the fun out of everything that you can do, okay, and force you to take what little tidbits they give you here and there. Remember that, folks. Have fun because when you have fun, it drives those kinds of people crazy, and I mean it's a form of insanity. The types of things they go through. It really brings it out of them too. It will showcase how crazy some people are when you have fun, right? Anyway, yeah. So uh, this guy is done, you know, and this was a fear that this was along the times when you know I one time I got one of those free Epic games. What was it? Rebel Galaxy. That's right. And this is to show you how some positive things can happen when mistakes happen. I forgot to turn the music off. And then I went back later and I said, way to go, Epic. Give out a free game and forget to control the rights on the music. So if somebody, you know, forgets that and streams it to advertise for you to, bring them to your store where you could make money, and that person, maybe because he might do music for other stuff, and it's only for a temporary time, so afterwards then they make money. uh, anyway, so the next game that came out, the guy did a video, and he showcased inside the video where the sound was and how they had gone out and bought all the rights to the music so that you could stream. Okay? But there was a couple tunes that they couldn't get the rights to. So there's a little button there, you check it, and then you could sit there and you can play the video game and have the little radio station things and have fun. Now see, then you got all these guys raging across the universe about Epic Store exclusives, Epic Store exclusives. Well, Ubisoft has a store, Origin has a store, Bethesda has a store, Tencent has a store, uh, other companies in China have a store. Even Warframe has its own little store, even though it's on Steam. Um, we can go on and on and on here about that. But guess what the unifying thought is? Why it's not exclusivity. Okay? I buy the game. Doesn't matter, if it's at that store or that store. If it's at that store, I go to that store and I buy it. I put it on my PC and I play it. Okay? The difference is, and I'm not to harp on the console guys. I got a lot of friends that have consoles, and I've said this before. I've watched a couple things today. I watched some COD and some wrestling stuff, and they're really doing a good work on that wrestling game. It's damn realistic. I watched anyway. Uh, there are games that are in the consoles that I can't get on a PC. Some days I feel like, damn, this just peeves me the way they do this. They cut us all off. They cut the crossplay out. They cut this out. I don't even want to watch it today. So I watch something else, right? But, you know, people are regular people, and they don't, sometimes, you might have enough money to get a $500, $600 console, but not a $1,600 PC, right? Yeah, because you don't need all the rest of the things that I'm doing, say, right? That's the point. And this is why consoles exist, because they realized there was a market for people that just, and I was talking to another friend of mine. He's a real smart guy, and I said, well, how come you're playing this game? It's a little bit mindless. He says, I think all day, I do all this, and then I get off work or something, and if I'm playing a video game, I really don't want to have to think anymore. And I went, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I can see that. Hey, I got my days when I want to do mindless whatever too. I used to go into Guild Wars 2 and go into the World versus World and just follow this leader around and go, "Ugh, mash a button, mash a button." you know, we win, yay! But yeah. Anyway, I thought I'd put this up here because this is one of those videos where everyone else is raging about Hong Kong and everything else, and I just wanted to say two things about that. The last time I'm going to mention it too, because I'm really, really sick and tired of it. I see all the big guys spouting off about it, and what really, 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 really makes me angry is the fact that it all started from a guy who was in Taiwan, and he murdered his pregnant wife and ran to Hong Kong because he knew there was no extradition treaty. So the people in Hong Kong arrested him, and then they were going to make a law that would allow him to be extradited back to Taiwan, which is a U.S. ally. If he had done that in any one of our countries, including Canada, and ran off to some other country, you'd be guaranteed people would be screaming bloody murder. Okay? So what's happened here is, I think, and you got to wonder, how come these people are really upset over there? Is it maybe because some of them, a small group of them, maybe they're just criminals like this guy? Because they certainly act like it. They go around beating up regular people, smashing stores. It sounds like Antifa, and then you get, and it just irks me. A lot of you don't know me like that long. Some people do, and they're just and they have to stay quiet about it, right? Because there's a lot of things we did in the past that were insane. Okay, as hackers, we've done amazing things for this world. Okay, I've basically done my part, and I'm getting older, guys. I mean, I just, and it's like, in a way, one of the things Crowder said today was, as you get older, you get more conservative. Well, it's not so much that I'm becoming politically conservative. It's that my ability to take the risks where I might end up in a prison cell for half my life is just, it's not as much there anymore. But hey, I'll say it, okay? If I have to do something that's going to put me away for life to save lots of people, or do something that will affect the world in a good way, I'll do it. Okay, that's the big difference between me and the rest of you. Okay, when I took, there's like a little bit of an oath when you became president of whatever I was. Okay, and I put my word on it. Okay, and my life, that this isn't about me. It's about the rest of you. And I gave 20 years to that, okay? How long do I have to keep doing it? When do I get time for me, right? That was a big thing there for a while. And then I got injured, at work. Hurt my back, and oh man, a whole bunch of other things. I mean, a guy tried setting me up one time, and I ended up breathing in some chlorine gas for a couple hours, and it almost killed me, and it gave me what's called a chemical anxiety disorder for about a year while I was taking medicine to sort that out, right? The whole time you had a company that was just it had a monopoly, and it just didn't give a shit, and it was just trying to fire you even though you're injured, right? All this, you go through all these things, right? And everybody has these problems, okay? So I didn't let that stop me from helping other people. In fact, and then I got Diablo 2, And while I'm in bed and I can't do anything, I mean, I'm sitting there playing a video game, and it kept me sane, and I could talk to people online, and you know, and this is where gaming it's a necessary escape. Okay, we need it to get away from all the BS in the universe. Okay, what people used to do before video games, okay, was they would go out for a long walk or a ride on the horse. Okay, that's what they would do. Bikers get on a bike and they ride. Okay, that's what they do. That's a real biker, not this other stuff that sometimes you see in the news and that. Okay, this is what I try to I say to people is find your horse and get on it and go for a ride. Okay. You don't need to be a cowboy, but trust me, it's healthy. It's healthy to get have an escape. So when you start injecting too much of this crap reality, and this is why I support Activision and putting the foot down on the guy. I think they went a little heavy on him though. I think what they could have done is something to the effect of, hey, we can't have you represent this. It's causing too much of a problem. There are people like myself who don't want this politics in the video games. I didn't want it in Battlefield 5. I don't want it in any of the other games. I thought what was that one game there? Kingdom Come Deliverance or something like that, where there's all this rage from the left about no black people in any of these towns. I mean, good Lord, there might have been one per 10,000 people, and oh Lord, you know, this whole thing has got to stop. Everyone's got to stop trying to be tell other people what to do and how to do it all the time. Okay, it's not healthy doing that either. Anyway, I just wow, and some of these guys are still at it, and they're just regurgitating the same things they're saying over and over, and it's clickbait. I can actually see why some of these people are getting deplatformed off YouTube now. Because if I were an advertiser and I found out that the whole Hong Kong thing was because some guy he murdered his pregnant wife, and these kids are all about this, and I don't want to advertise with you. Okay, if you're going to support that would be my attitude. Okay, but hey, who am I, right? I'm just a man. That's the other thing to say. Okay, people go, who the hell are you? Yeah, I'm a man. That's what I tell people. Okay, anyone ever tells you you're nobody or something, stand up and you say you're either a woman or a man or whatever you are, right? You say that. Okay, because that's what you are. Yeah. A lot of ranting going on lately. I'm wondering if there's some kind of radiation hitting the earth in a strange way. But anyway, I just, once in a while it's good to have a little rant like this where you just kind of let it out, And I think this has been coming for a while because some things have been bugging me about a lot of hypocrisy that I'm seeing across YouTube. And it's literally not a non-issue with most of the people that are either subscribed to me, okay, or that I've subscribed to, because there's only been 3 people in the last 4 months that I've unsubscribed to, and all 4 of them are the kinds of people that say one thing and do another. Okay, not cool. All right. I felt like asking these guys, who were mouthing me off on this other guy's YouTube channel. I felt like saying, "What games do you play?" So I can warn all my buddies not to bother showing up to your games or buying them either. Okay. And because I can't tell by your YouTube page what games you play, or if you're playing any at all anymore. That's why I encourage people. Get outside once in a while too. Get some fresh air. It's also a healthy thing. Okay, don't let's if you're physically able. If you're not, it's good to see someone like Pink Peach there that I saw showing off pictures of Egypt that you never see. in an angle you never see. That was really neat of her to do. I like that kind of thing. So if you're out there in the world and you got some really neat places, hey, show them off. Okay, show them off in a way that hasn't been seen before. That's creative. Number one. Number two, let me know. I'll pass it around to everybody. I wish G Plus was still around because there was this guy from National Geographic they were paying to go around the world, and he was showing off the craziest places. I've never seen so much neat stuff. I wish I'd saved all the images because Google went, all their good ideas, they blow them up. I don't know why. But anyway, I guess they don't make any money from them. There are things sometimes you do stuff and it doesn't make you money or enough money. Trust me, I've made money, I've not made money, I've done stuff, I've done this, I've done that, I've done it all. You know, uh, I try to help. Okay, like this is the thing. I'm not trying to. And here's the thing: if you're listening to this and you came from one of these other pages because I told you to come here and have a look at me and that, just remember this, okay? All right. I've served in my military for my country, was willing to die for your freedoms. So did my dad, and my grandfather was stuck on that hill in Kapyong in North Korea for about a week, okay? While the Chinese tried to overrun a hill where 300 of them were on there, and about half a kilometer away, a couple hundred Germans were stuck on a hill, and the damn Americans that were in the middle ran away, okay? We don't forget stuff like that, okay, in our military schools, okay? Just remember these things that, and you would be, one day, people tell me I ought to write a book about all the things I've done in the hacking world and stuff like that. You'd never believe half of it because how would I prove some of it without it sounding so fantastic no one would believe you. It just gets to the point where you go, I just don't feel I got anything to prove to anybody anymore, I've done this, I've done that, I've been top of the food chain for this, that, everything. I've done it all. What's left? Well, let's make a video game, I thought. And I start doing this process. And I'm actually quite angry at some of these Blender people right now. We're having some interesting words, okay? And I'm sitting here going, listen, I'm a disabled guy, and I'm sitting here. I was getting into rigging in the older version, and it doesn't function properly when you import it into Unreal. And the only version that you could do to get that, the guy's hijacked an app where you have to pay him stupid money for it. And then they made it free in the next version, but nobody's done a proper tutorial for it. And and it's not just me waiting for it. And it's not the guys that make the tutorials fault on YouTube. I originally thought that. And I thought, what the hell's going on here? Turns out Blender keeps changing the user interface and adding features and doing different things and they're doing them at such a rate where there's a nightly build. I mean, you're going to have to download the build and see what changes are made every time you damn well do stuff now. I mean, that is not the way to run software, okay? So then this other guy was telling me that they're looking at a 3 to 4 month release time. Well, so a guy makes some tutorials, spends all the time and effort. He goes from start one, he gets about 20 videos in, he gets to where there might be a rigging tutorial, and then the following day they change it on him. I mean, are you serious? What it does is it creates what's happened in Windows, okay? It creates fragmentation in your versions. Okay, there will be now people using 2.7. There'll be people using 2.8, 2.81, 2.82, 2.83, all the way up to 2.80 million. And you can't do that either. You got to slow this crap down, man. Okay, do it every 6 months. Give people time to get into the new changes. I'm not gonna harp on that anymore either. I'm just gonna once I get my graphics card, I will decide what I'm gonna do. If I have to then save up and pay for a whole year of using Maya, I'll have to figure out how I'm gonna do that. That's expensive, guys. I mean, it's go ahead, go look on their website how expensive using Maya is. It's not cheap, and so what do? Then you start paying this guy and that guy and this guy and that guy. You know, you got a monthly with this guy, and I mean, I'm going to be throwing all my money out the window here just to get something done that. Oh, like crap! There's nothing free about any of this, guys, and it's getting on my nerves. And when things get on my nerves, I sit down and I write software, and then things change. Yeah, writing a 3D software engine. That'd be interesting to start. I don't know. I may have to go look at some other things. There may be some cheaper alternatives than Maya. I just don't know how useful they are. One came up at uh, Unreal itself. Now it gives you restricted kind of use for stuff, and then yeah, and then it's a monthly too. It's just designed to suck the money right out of us. Hey, getting sick of that too. I want to buy a car. I don't want to have to pay for it every time I turn around every month. I like owning it. If I want to take a sledgehammer to it, I feel I have that right. If I want to take the door off and put a giant banana on the side, I feel I have that right. That's a mod, right? Etc. Mm. Anyway, okay, guys. I just thought I'll upload this and we got a win there. And this is what I was talking about a while back in August, about YouTube suing a guy for trolling everybody. I'm sure some people will be happy, and it will send the right message. Okay, that YouTube will fight, and it looks like he wanted to settle out of court because he's screwed. Okay, misrepresenting or masking people's identities when using Google products, including YouTube. Dun, 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 dun. He was going after Minecraft gaming creators. Anyway, might be one of the reasons why PewDiePie got into it. Never know. Anyway, have a good one, guys.